here I have all the 6 legs, all the parts. Each one has a pillar with a leg, their own magnets, and you could see that they snap in place. Okay, so that is very important to find the matching magnets, faces that will attract to each other. Okay, having this, so now it's easy just to glue on this ring. The engine ring has 2 parts that are glued one on top of each other. The one that has the 6 white rectangles will be hidden, and it will be inside the engine section. It cannot be viewed. This would be the outside. It will be the very bottom part of the engine. So we're going to start gluing the pillars on top of each one of these white rectangles. All right, pretty straightforward. Just glue them. I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna remove this. Wait. So here, this is what I was saying. These flaps will go in the area that is next to the white rectangle, like this. All this part has to be glued, just like that, on all 6 areas. So the tricky part is for you to have a way to identify which leg goes with each pillar. That will be your homework, how to do it. But anyway, all these legs have their matching magnets for their corresponding pillars. So but make a little note or in some way to identify which pillar goes with each leg. Okay, in my case I have that done, so I know which leg will go. So I'm going to start gluing each pillar right there on the location. So let's do that. And I'm going to show you my way of identifying where are the matching legs with their corresponding pillars. I have drawn the engine ring, and now that I have placed the first pillar next to this detail, the detail that you see here, I'm going to put the other camera to show. This detail here indicates the umbilical area, the umbilical section. Okay, so, and I have drawn something similar here. So I am this one will be my 1. This is my first one. On the other hand, I made this this strip numbered 1 through 6, and I'm going to be placing the legs there. So as I glue the pillars, I am going to be following this order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Follow this plan, this design, so I will know where are the pillars and where are the corresponding legs. That way you can identify. Okay, all right, so I have placed the first pillar, and this is how it looks. Let me show you. Look. This part will be glued to the body, in the inside of the body of the of the starship. And if you move it like this, notice that the hinge is sticking out. Okay, that's how it is. And that's pretty much that's how we're gonna be gluing. The flaps that are glued on the sides are actually I did it that way in order to make the entire pillar be glued firmly and vertical. All right, I'm going to, so as now that I have glued the pillar 1, I am going to put the leg on number 1. All right, there. My number 2. All right, so you have the idea. Just organize yourself on how you are matching the pillars with their legs. Right now I am going to glue all the pillars in place. I'm going to glue the last 2 legs so you can see the process of gluing these. I apply glue on the flaps that are sticking on the sides. It's okay if you can put some glue on top of the magnet, doesn't care, doesn't matter. So now I will place this right there, fit on top. With my thumb I can press, and with my fingers I thumb and index, there it is. And my 6th leg, okay, right there, perfect. You could see that all the pillars are in place and ready to put into Starship. But before doing that, we're going to add 2 more pieces that need to go there first because of the space, the limited space that we have. So, and I'm talking about these 2 semi-lunar things. These parts actually hold COPVs onto the sides. They go on the sides of the inside of the inner part of the engine section. They will go on the areas where the where the wings attach to. Okay, so one of these will go on the left and right side of the inner part of the engine section. But that's why, because of the shape and because of it has to go all the way inside, we have to do it without putting this first. Okay, so this will go, these 2 parts are being glued first. We're gonna do that. Okay, we have the Starship, the engine section there, and orienting the model. Remember these 2 pipes here. This indicates this is the umbilical side. A raptor has to point to the umbilical side, and there's a dark line here, the side here, that match with with a wing on the other side as well. Here is where these semi-lunar brackets will be placed. Obviously, I can do it, but it's better if this is done before you install the Raptors, just because of the narrow space to put your fingers here in between. You don't want to mess up with these raptors, you know. So I'm going to pause the camera, and I will glue on both sides. You can use crazy glue that will, but you have to really work fast, or you can just use regular Elmer's glue to glue those parts. Once that is done, then we can apply. I'm going to show you how it goes. You can apply. We can glue this ring, and there's an orientation as well. Remember, this section here will match with the umbilical piping here, but it has to go this way. And notice that there are 6 beige color areas where the leg pillars will be glued. As long as you orient this section here with these pipes, you are good. And it's just a matter of putting glue on the back of the pillars, and it will just snap in place just like that. Alright, with glue it will be better, but you have the idea. This is how it's gonna be look. And then at the end we will start placing the COPVs. There's a diagram in the PDF that you can see where the COPVs are placed, and you can use once everything is in place, you can use a tweezer. You can start gluing each one of the COPVs just like that. All right, so let's remove this, and we're going to glue these sections. Okay, I managed to place the 2 brackets that will hold the COPVs in place. As you can see, these 2 match with the wings. All right, we're gonna let it dry. Placing the COPVs is pretty straightforward. There's, as I mentioned, there's a guide with indicating where the COPVs go. But there are 2 more parts that need to go first before the engine, and we're talking about these 2 strips. These will go on this section. I actually glued on top of these gray strips. There are 2, the ones that are here, with the difference that this upper part is going to be curved. All right, so we can do it like this. That part is going to be curved, the very tip will be like that. Let's do the other part as well. Just the very tip is going to be curved. All right, and they will go all the way at the bottom at the end, and the curved section will touch the dome just like that. It will touch the dome. Okay, so we're going to apply glue here. And the rest, we're gonna put glue on the rest of the straight area. And that is supposed to be not sticking out of the engine section. going to be glued like that. There. The tweezer. Try to glue it there. And notice that just because we curved that part, it's touching with the dome, but you can slightly move it to be perfectly centered like that. Perfect, like that. All right, get the idea. We're gonna do the same onto the other one. Okay. Straight. There. Try to work fast and diligently with your tweezer. Try to center it nicely as the other one. Look, so there are, what we want to do is that these two tubes appear to come from the dome. All right. Just like that. All right. We're gonna move it centered a little bit. There it is better. Okay. That is done. And now we can glue this. We're going to apply glue on the back of the pillars. All right. And then some glue on this edge. Just regular Elmer's glue. All right. And we're gonna put some glue on the base here. Okay, I have applied glue on this edge, and I have applied, the glue is applied on the back of each of the columns. Now we're going to orient. This is the umbilical area. You have to find this area, this drawing with a lot of dots that will go and match the umbilical section. Try to squeeze the legs inside, the pillars inside like that, and try matching the pillars with their corresponding areas like that, and just keep pressing. If there is some resistance, if there is some resistance, you can have to keep pressing until the whole part glues. And with your finger you can press the pillars onto the back of the model, because all it takes is that. Okay, when you have the model your hands, you will understand what it takes. All right, so I'm gonna pause this video so I can glue firmly all the pillars in place. Okay. Okay. The engine ring has been glued. All pillars are well glued, and now it's just a matter of gluing all the COPVs. So pretty straightforward. Just follow the graphic that will show you which how the COPVs are glued, just like that. And there's one other element, another Tesla battery that will go. There's an area here. Now this information I got it from Reddit, that the SN8 had two Tesla batteries, one located on the upper dome, and there was a second battery that was located in the engine section. They didn't specify exactly where, but there was one photo from SpaceX that it looks like it shows one of the sides of the engine section with part of the battery that matches this area. It might not be perfect, but remember, I'm not an engineer. I really don't have exact information about that issue, but it is what it is. So if someone knows where the second battery goes, you can let me know so I can update the model. Anyway, we're going to complete by putting the rest of the COPVs. It's optional if you want to cover them with aluminum foil, because the video that was taken when the SN8 was doing the hop test, it showed that the COPVs were in fact covered by a thermal blanket, in this case like an aluminum foil. And then at the end we will place the legs. In this case, this is how it will go. The leg will be glued. This part here will place crazy glue on this side, and it will be glued only to the strip, the roller strip that goes on top of the hinge, right there. It looks like this leg is not the one. So you have the idea. It will stay there. It will stay in place. Okay. So let's finish that, and then we'll take a shot of the entire engine section completed. So this is the diagram that I am making it available in the PDF, but I did not add the drawings of some of the COPVs have these white stripes. Okay, so here I made a little marking for me to identify which large COPVs have those markings. So I already have placed number 3. In this case, this is the one that it's close to these the umbilical stripes here, tubes. Okay, so we have that one, and then we'll place the small ones next to it in that area here next to it. All right, so this is how I start putting them. We're going to place number 4. Let's place this strip. I just put glue on the back, on the seam line, Just put glue like this. All right. Tweezer. And slide it in where it corresponds. There. Okay. That's how it goes. So there you have it. You can enjoy by doing this model with all the details that match the real vehicle. All right, let's keep putting all the COPVs. All right, I'm continuing with this task of putting all the COPVs in place, following the guide. Just put glue on the back of the seam line. There. Okay. Let's keep this one. Just like that. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna put this one here that is totally black. It has no stripes, and this will go in this section. So we're gonna go. Okay. Moving on. There's another one that goes here too, and that one is for 5, black as well. We have it here. Notice that each COPV has a triangular base or detail, like the photos show. Exactly like what the photos of the real starship looks like. Okay, we're gonna turn it this way and install it right there. Well, it's taking shape. So notice the order of how I am placing all these elements. Notice that I haven't glued the legs yet. That's the very last. But you still need some space to put these things. All right. Let's see what else. Let's turn it. There's another COPV that goes here. Okay. And that is number 1. We're gonna apply glue here on the back as well. there. Okay, and this one has two lines on the side, so that is an indication that the small COPVs will go side by side. We'll go and get these last two that I have here. There. And the other one. Coming along, it's coming along. There. There's no more COPVs on this area except for this lone line, which is for our last one, and it has some stripes. So this is the one that is left to be glued. Okay. All right, all COPVs in place. One, two. This combo on the umbilical area. On the side of the wing here, and we're gonna place our Tesla battery. As I say, this part is not exactly I still have to confirm, but the photo does show that there looks like there is the battery placed in this section. I hope someone can assist in verifying that information about the second Tesla battery. Anyway, we're gonna place it right there. There it is. And the video shows that this area, there's a big aluminum foil, a rectangular size, a big box. It's covering this area, so it's very likely that that is where the Tesla battery is. All right, on the test, all the COPVs are in place. They're glued. We're gonna let it dry a little bit more, and then we finally are going to place the legs. So let's identify our first leg based on my drawing. This is the umbilical area, which is this, and next to it, this is leg number one, which go here, and my leg number one is right here. This is going to be here. So we're gonna apply crazy glue on this part. Notice that I only put glue on that part, not on the rest of the leg, because this leg needs to swivel, or needs to it's just placed like that, Waiting until it dries a little bit. There. And it has to be glued in that position. When it dries, then we can move it up. All right. So we're gonna let it dry there. Let's move on to leg number 6, which corresponds here. So go like that. All right, the same thing. We're gonna apply glue. Just in the very tip of that anvil shape. Okay, that glued much faster. And let's keep working until we place all the legs. All right, so I'll do that, and then at the end, when they dry, I will show you how they move. So here's a little demonstration of how the legs move. I'll go like that. Place that in place. This is how it looks standing. There. And with all the legs side. Some of them are still a little stiff. All right. This was glued too close to the outside of the hinge. That's why this one, I can remove it. But you have the idea that it's very tricky, and it depends how you glue these parts. You know, try to measure the distance of this part with the ring before gluing. This is only for demonstration purposes. The model did not come quite perfect as planned, but nothing is perfect. But you have the idea. Well, no, let me correct myself. Once it dries, then it will stay in place. Yeah. And greasy glue does its job. Now, it also depends on the type of magnet that you have. And very small magnets, therefore, they're not that strong. Look at this one here. The little part that it's glued here under, it's not strong enough to hold the leg in place. So it all is so many factors. It depends on what type of magnets you find. But all in all, the magnets are optional, and this can still work without magnets. Okay. All right. So as I say, the COPVs can be covered with aluminum foil if you prefer. If not, just leave it like that. Another element that we are still missing is to adding the umbilicals. And on the PDF, I have supplied the parts for the umbilicals. In this case, These are the parts. You have to cut them. This is a decal paper, so once it's cut, you can remove individual strips and glue it on top of the outside of the vehicle to match where the vehicles go. Well, we're gonna start cutting these and we'll see how it looks.